Today, we're taking a ride on what's one of, if not the most exotic regional jets in service. The Fokker 100, manufactured in the Netherlands, is a 109-seater with an updated glass cockpit powered by two tail-mounted Rolls-Royce Tay Mk620 engines. There were only about 283 of them that have ever been built, and the production only ran from 1986 to 1997. So, it really isn't the most common jet out flying. The plan today is to fly on an airline called Alliance Airlines, who are pretty much the primary modern-day operator from here in Brisbane, where we left off on a Qantas 737 last time, down to Newcastle. So, what's it like flying on board this rare bird in 2025? What's Alliance Airlines like as a regional airline? Qantas Link and Virgin Australia also have a fleet of these old Dutch workhorses, but they're rapidly retiring them. Meanwhile, despite Alliance Airlines' fleet of the more modern Embraer 190, they want to keep their Fokkers in for long-term operation. So, what's up with that? Why won't they retire them? What's going on, guys? Casey Flower here. We'll take a look at the most optimistic operator of this old and bizarre regional jet and see what they're like on board. So, let's go check in. So this is technically a Virgin Australia flight, but it's operated by Alliance. I made the reservation through the Virgin Australia app, and this flight has a Virgin Australia call sign. Checking in online with the app for a Virgin Australia flight is the standard to what it is everywhere else. First things first, we'll verify some basic itinerary information, then we'll assure them that we aren't carrying anything dangerous the first time, and then a second time. But once those buttons are satisfied, the boarding pass is ready for takeoff and available for the wallet. Alright, it's Fokker time. I am at the gates getting ready to board the Fokker 100 down to Newcastle. They're actually just now lining us up now to board. So we'll be boarding ourselves and getting on it probably in the next 5, maybe 10 minutes max. But yeah, I just now finished filming the outro to the last video on Qantas, and then the intro to this one, pretty much back to back in the same spot. Then got to the gate to get ready to get on. So we'll be properly boarding ourselves and getting seated very, very shortly. Okay, so surprise, surprise. We're boarding from the ramp. Oh, let's go. Oh yeah, there she is. There she is. Vector Hotel Uniform Quebec Foxtrot will be the 32-year-old Fokker down to Newcastle. Delivered brand new to American, if anyone, in June of 1993 as November 1447 Lima, then to Tyrolean Airways as Oscar Echo Lima Vector Hotel in April of 2005, followed by Austrian Airlines with that same registration later that April, and then, finally, ferried all the way to Australia to fly with Alliance in May of 2018. C-19G has a width of 17.4 inches, a pitch of 34, wow, and a recline of 3. Okay, that was a close one. We have 2 windows, one of which is obstructed by the engine, one of them is not. Just thank God I did not select the very last row, 20. But yeah, welcome aboard the Alliance Fokker 100 operated by Virgin Australia. Yeah, it's extremely bare bone. There's nothing. I don't think there's Wi-Fi. There's no in-seat power. Obviously no IFE. The legroom is okay down there. Width is okay. Seats pretty comfortable and cushiony. But yeah, we're looking at a on-time departure out of Brisbane. It's going to be a full flight, so once everyone gets boarded and set down, then we'll be pushed back and getting out of here on our way down to Newcastle.
Today, joining me in the cabin is the wonderful Priya. Up at the pointy end, we've got Captain Sandy Lehman with First Officer Mike Ellen. It's our pleasure to welcome you aboard this Virgin Australia flight down to Newcastle. They'll be flying for 1 hour. Alliance Airlines operates this flight in partnership with Virgin Australia. On behalf of the team, we're delighted to welcome you aboard today's flight.
Alright, it's loud back here, but yeah, not complaining. We are airborne out of Brisbane and on our way down to Newcastle. The views coming out looked absolutely amazing, banking past downtown on the way out. But yeah, we're well on our way and climbing out. The purser up front said that they would be coming through with a hot drink service, and they're actually just starting to come back right now with that, with a hot drink service. But yeah, all they said they would have would be coffee, tea, and water, and maybe I see juice on there. But yeah, if I recall correctly, just coffee, juice, and water. No soft drinks, no alcohol, none of that. And there's not gonna be any snacks or obviously meals either. Since there's also no seat back menu, we got to say that they even have any of that. So for now, I'm just gonna assume that on any Alliance flight, you're just gonna get those hot drinks, because the route network they have with their routes aren't really that long, an hour, maybe two max. So for now, I think it's safe to assume that all they got are just those few hot drinks. So yeah, it's pretty bare bone back here. As mentioned, no seatback IFE, no in-seat power, not even any Wi-Fi, just checked. But hey, this isn't about that. We're on a Fokker, a very rare bird, which really not that many carriers fly nowadays. How many av geeks can say that they've been on a Fokker 100 or even a Fokker aircraft in the 21st century? Probably a few, but probably not that much, especially a Fokker 100 down here in Australia. But yeah, having a great time so far. Really happy to be on such a gem of a bird. But yeah, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go get a coffee. Coffee? Yeah, thank you.
Would you like milk?
Yeah, thank you. Yes, please.
We're just planning a descent into Newcastle. We'll be commencing a descent from 32,000.
Alright, just finishing up my coffee here, and the FO came over the PA saying that they have started briefing our approach down into Newcastle. So, on the rest of the way in, I'm going to go ahead and start to rate the airline using my channel original rating system. I call it the Raleigh rating scale because my first name is Raleigh. If you're new here, I use this scale to rate and review all the airlines I fly on at the end of every one of my airline reviews. It has 6 different categories to see how well the airline did at each. But if you're not new here, good job. You made it this far. What'd you think? How do you think Alliance did? So, let's go ahead and see how Alliance Airlines did today. The service was a 10 out of 10, as our 2 flight attendants Brandon and Priya were super friendly and took amazing care of us. Mike, our FO, was really happy to have me up and show me around despite it being a quick turn. The cleanliness was a 9 out of 10, as the interior was pretty clean for the most part. There wasn't even that much wear or tear anywhere if any, but there were a few minor stains around the seat and tray table, but nothing obvious. In all honesty though, the aircraft didn't look a day over 10. The Wi-Fi was a 0 out of 10, as there was none available. The food was an 8 out of 10, as all we had on this flight were the complimentary water, coffee, and tea. After a quick AI research session, I found out that they apparently offer a small variety of sandwiches, alcohol, and maybe soda on the longer flights they have to the outback. It would have been cool to see them give out a light snack packet like crackers or chips on this hour flight, but not at all necessary. It is nice to see the possibility of having more drinks and a small meal on their flights of more duration. It is also very possible that this information regarding the sandwiches and alcohol may not even be accurate anymore, and they don't have any of that and only the water and hot drinks. But in reality though, for this specific flight, the hot drinks were more than sufficient. The entertainment was a 0 out of 10, as nothing was provided by the airline on board at all to keep us occupied. No internet, no bring your own device entertainment browser, no in-seat power to keep your phone charged, and definitely no IFE, so bring a power bank and download content. The seat was an 8 out of 10, as it was comfortable and it got the job done for an hour flight. It was thick and cushiony, wide. The legroom could be a little better, but it was fine for what it was. Anything over a couple hours may be pushing it, but apart from the lack of entertainment, it was definitely comfortable for what it was. So, the overall rating for the airline is going to be a 5.8 out of 10. Alright, now that we're parked, let's go up front, see the flight deck of this beauty, and see why Alliance is such a fan. How was the flight down here?
Yeah, good. Not too bad.
Okay, yeah.
So, weather was better than we thought.
I saw that, yeah.
So,
Yeah. How do you like flying the Fokker?
I like it. It's old school, but it stacks up really good. It's a good, reliable machine. It's old, but it does everything you need it to do. It's robust.
Yeah. Do you think it's like reliable for like Alliance to operate it? Like, why do you think they still have them around?
They, for the mining flights in particular, it's very, very good at short strips as well, like in the middle of Australia. So we do a lot of FIFO.
Yeah. Okay.
In Alliance does a big part of that.
Yeah.
And it's well supported. Heaps of parts.
Right. Yeah. So it's primarily good for like the outback flying.
Very good.
Okay, so that's why you have it around still. Very cool.
So this is 100, but on the 70s we come down.
Yeah.
So that for places where we can't get things like that, like stairs.
Yeah, you need air stairs for that. Yeah. Awesome, dude. Yeah. It reminds me a lot of the MD-80.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the the MCP is a little different. Honestly, a little bit more standard to what like the more modern guys have. But like with the PFT, MFT, and like FMC, a lot like the MD-80. Yeah, it's a cool glass cockpit you got going on. Yeah, man. Awesome, yeah.
Fun to fly. And
I bet, yeah. Yeah, I thought you all the way back though, like hand flying that whole approach. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, yeah. A lot of aircraft stacked up there.
Awesome, yeah. Yeah. Alright, welcome to Newcastle. My final thoughts on that Fokker. Man, that was really freaking cool. Yeah, it was bare bone and it got a low rating, a 5.8 out of 10. Yeah, but as I mentioned, it's not about that. Honestly, if anything, that's kind of the price you pay for being on such a rare and old and exotic bird like that. Especially old, you're not going to have that much on board. It kind of comes with it. So you kind of have to pay for a very low and raw and bare bone experience with really any vintage classic aircraft like that. But yeah, the rating aside, I love that Fokker. The flight deck visit I was really happy with. Shout out to First Officer Mike for the interview and the tour, and also our flight manager Brandon for asking for me to get me in there. Two great guys overall. I also got a safety card from the flight manager, so really, really cool of him to do that. But yeah, we're in Newcastle. I have about 4 hours to kill until my next flight out of here, and I will see you guys for then. Oh, probably, I don't know. I'm debating going into town to grab some lunch and take public transit, but it's also cold, dreary, and rainy out there. Yeah, sorry, Newcastle. I think I'll pass. It's winter down here, and back in the States, it's summer, and where I live, it's pushing 100, And me being the genius that I am, I did not pack accordingly, and I didn't bring warm clothes, and with the exception of sweats. Just, that's all I got. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the review as much as I did filming it, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time for the next adventure. Bye for now.